cards we're going to be getting, or actually cards that have not been released until the latest DD structure deck.
How long ago was it in the TCG that we got that structure deck?
I believe it was like about in January we got it.
So
like late January.
This year January or last year January?
This year January. After the DD deck was put on a hiatus. Like it was delayed so many times that people started to lose hope that the deck was actually going to get released.
But here we are, lo and behold.
Yep. First, we have our next two Savant monsters, Savant Copernicus and Savant Newton.
Interesting. Newton, who I'm definitely familiar with, and Copernicus too.
Yep. Anyway, so Copernicus and Newton have a similar pendulum effects as the other two savants. However, for these two, they mirror each other in the fact that once while they're in your pendulum zone, you negate activated spell or trap effects that inflict damage to you, and then destroy these cards. That will come into play once we get into the Dark Contracts.
Gotcha.
And then for their monster effects, Copernicus is the more useful of the two, where Copernicus, when he's normal in special zone, allows you to send a DD or Dark Contract card from the deck to the graveyard, a la Foolish Burial.
Absolutely. More Beatrice because it sends spell or trap cards as well.
Yep. Anyway, and for Newton, you can discard him from the hand to target a DD or Dark Contract card in your graveyard and recycle it back to your hand.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I would say, yeah, these two are overall better. It's just that Kepler outshines them in the fact that he searches.
Absolutely.
Next, you have DD Orthros, who is our first DD Pendulum Tuner monster.
Oh, okay.
Level 4 Dark Fiend Pendulum Tuner monster.
My apologies to those at home. It doesn't actually say on the screen here, it doesn't actually say tuner in the picture, but in the text, which is written in blue, it does say monster effect tuner pendulum, so just pointing that out to those at home.
Anyway, so Orthros is a pendulum effect, is the main reason why he's used in modern DD decks at 1. Once returned, you can target a spell trap card in the field and another DD or Dark Contract card you control and destroy them.
Nice.
Yep. Orthros is usually used in the meta at 1 as an out to Vanities, because Vanities emptiness will destroy your deck.
Vanities, people say if you go first, you set up your board, set Vanities, you run. That's it.
Yeah, because it makes it really hard to get rid of a card your opponent controls to get rid of Vanities. But overall, though, its monster effect doesn't really help it that much. When you take a battle or effect damage, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you special summon from the hand, and you can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Fiend monsters.
So while the monster effect doesn't work too well, being a Fiend type, not being a tuner type pendulum monster alone is pretty damn good because you can recycle that several times.
Yeah, true. I could see some utility in him, but he's mostly used, like I said, as a Vanities out.
So one of for Orthros.
Yep, one of Orthros. Next we have DD Lamia.
A card which I've seen many times.
Yep, DD Lamia is a level 1 Dark Fiend type Pendulum monster, with running 100 attack and 1900 defense, kind of like a baby Lamia or a baby Lilith. And this card's effect, when it's in the hand or graveyard, you can send a DD or Dark Contract card from your hand or reveal it from the field to the graveyard. So summon it, but it'll be banished when it leaves the field.
Nice.
Usually this card I've seen is really good at helping your synchro plays, allowing you to also get rid of Dark Contract cards that may kill you by the turn end.
Yeah, it seems pretty solid.
Yep. Usually this card's a 3 of as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say a little bit too why it's so good because we haven't got into the Dark Contracts yet. But yeah, being able to just special summon itself to the field that way, solid.
Okay, next set of savants we got are Savant Thomas and Savant Nicola. Thomas Edison and Nicola. DD Savant Thomas is a really cool pendulum monster. He's one of the first Pendulum monsters we got that doesn't have the restriction like the other savants. And his Pendulum effect reads that during your main phase, you can target a DD Pendulum monster from your extra deck and bring it back to your hand. So it's really good for the utility purposes, like recycling your Keplers.
Does not having the restriction actually help much at all? Are we going to be playing non-DDD monsters in a DDD deck?
I mean, the deck itself doesn't really Pendulum summon that much, ironically, which is kind of funny.
So is it mostly just for their Searcher effects and et al.?
Well, it's mostly for the monster effect.
Okay.
Where you can target a DD card in your Pendulum zone, destroy it, special summon a level 8 DD monster from your deck to the field, and then its effects are negated, but any damage your opponent will take will be halved. This is basically your instant rank 8.
Yeah, I see.
Yep, just sack a DD monster from the Pendulum zone like an Orthros or Ragnarok and boom.
Get another weight. How do you get this out onto the field?
Normally you can easily get this guy out by using it as fusion material, then summoning out with one of your fusion monster's effects, or you can use something like Swirl Slime's graveyard effect.
Gotcha. So the next savant we've got is Nicola. Nicola, is he similar to Thomas in any way?
Nicola is not really similar to Thomas, except for the fact that they're meant to be a set. Nicola's special effect wise, you could discard once per turn. You can discard a DDD monster, then target a level 6 or lower DD monster you control. It'll gain 2,000 attack and defense until the end of this turn.
Which isn't totally bad. That's a huge gain.
Yeah, not really that bad. And then in the monster, its monster effect wise, if it's in the Pendulum zone and destroyed, you target a DD monster you control, return to the hand. If you do, place up to 2 face-up DD Pendulum monsters from your extra deck into your Pendulum zones, but they cannot activate their Pendulum effects this turn.
Not bad, not bad. So how many copies of Nicola would you use?
Modern Age, none. But in the past, Nicola was actually used to help get rank 8, rank 6 plays out with Beatrice.
Interesting. And what about Thomas? How many copies of him is used?
It depends on the build, but I would recommend, it really depends on your build. I would recommend 2, but some people I've seen run 1 and some people run 3.
Gotcha. Alright, so we're going on to another one here called DD Ghost. The least fantasy style, I'm going to say, of the monster so far.
I mean, if you notice, the black shadow that's inside the crystal is a cat, which is fitting because DD Ghost is based off Schrodinger's cat.
Oh, is it now? Huh.
Yeah, it's based off a ghost or a Schrodinger's cat.
I don't know if it's alive or dead.
Yep. Anyway, so DD Ghost is a level 2 Dark Fiend tuner, 600 attack and 300 defense. If it's sent to the graveyard, you can target one Dark Contract card or DD monster in your graveyard, except Ghost. Send one card with the same name as that target from your deck to the graveyard, and if he's banished, you can target a banished Dark Contract or DD monster and return it to the graveyard.
Do Dark Contract cards get banished very often?
Not really, but DD monsters definitely will. I recommend at least run this guy as a one-off because of the fact that you can immediately send this guy to the graveyard and then mill out another Necro Slime or Swirl Slime, for example.
Gotcha.
And if you happen to banish them for a fusion summon, then hey, you get to immediately bring Ghost back.
Yeah, exactly.
Or immediately use Ghost's effect to bring back your Necro Slime for more fusion play.
Cool. So we're now on to the last DD monster, and this one, according to the little symbol here, is quite new, and that is Vice Typhon. What do we know about him?
Vice Typhon is going to be one of the DD cards that's going to be revealed that has been revealed for Code of the Duelist, which is going to be the first pack of the new Link Summoning era of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Cool.
Being a level 7 Dark Fiend effect monster at 2,300 attack and 2,800 defense. Effect reads, when it's normal summoned, you tribute a DD monster to special summon a level 7 DD monster from the deck, and burn your main phase if this card was sent to the grave because it was sent there this turn. You can fusion summon a level 7 or higher DD fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on each graveyard, including him. So basically, it's like a higher leveled Necro Slime, but I I wouldn't really recommend running this one that much over a Necro Slime because of the fact that its monster effect is blah in terms of the fact that you have to normal summon it, meaning you'd have to sack 2 monsters and then tribute another monster on top of it.
Yeah,
Especially sort of DD monster from the deck.
That does sound kind of slow. I mean, the rewards are good, but the setup it takes a while to set up, and it's not something we really do in this day and age.
And unlike Necro Slime, Vice Typhon, you have to immediately use the Grave effect because it can only use the effect if it was sent there this turn. Sure. So I recommend none of this monster.
So now we are going to move on to the kings themselves.
Yep, DDD, which triple D, standing for Different Dimension Demon.
I see. Is that is there anything more which you can say about that? Why they invented the D?
Well, really, the DDD monsters are actually really interesting because of the fact that they're based off historical figures, like a military leader or the mythical final battles.
Cool.
Such as our first example is DDD Doom King Armageddon. This is basically Reiji's Blue Eyes.
Oh, okay.
A level 8 Dark Fiend Pendulum monster, scale 4, with 3,000 attack and 1,000 defense. Pendulum effect reads: once returned, you can target one DD monster you control. It'll gain 800 attack until the end of this turn, even though this card leaves the field.
Nice.
Pendulum effect wise is blah, but monster effect wise it makes up for it in spades. Once returned, if a monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you target one of those monsters. This card will gain attack equal to that monster's original attack until the end of this turn.
Wow.
So this monster, right off the bat, it allows you for a massive beatdown.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, say your opponent activates, like, I don't know, like a Raigeki or something in response to your effect. But cannot attack your opponent directly during that turn if that effect activated. Now, the piece de resistance. It can't be destroyed by spell trap effects unless they specifically target Doom King.
I see. That was the part I was missing there. You were saying Raigeki, and I was like, wouldn't that destroy him too?
Nope.
I see.
Meaning this monster is also immune to Mirror Force.
So would anyone say, like, try and destroy this on purpose, or trigger the effect on purpose, say that with a Torrent or Tribute, or a Dark Hole, or is this just something which we use when your opponent is too stupid to read the card?
Like I could see some people use Torrential Tribute as a way to basically boost up Doom King.
Cool.
Because Doom King is a pretty strong monster on its own. It's not really used in the metagame that much in favor for the more turbo aspects. However, I could see you running this in a more so casual deck.
So, how many copies?
1 to 2.
Alright. So, moving on to the next king, we have Kaiser the Conqueror.
Yep, DD, Supreme King Kaiser, which this was actually Reiji's manga ace.
He is a very demonic looking sword. How the hell do you even wield that?
This is a monster that Proud Ogre and Proud Chevalier are supposed to summon out. Anyway, so Supreme King Kaiser is a Dark Fiend monster with 2,800 attack and 2,100 defense. Effect reads: if this card is Pendulum summoned, all face-up cards your opponent currently controls have their effects negated until the end of this turn.
Not bad.
And once returned during your main phase, if this card is Pendulum summoned this turn, target up to 2 cards in your spell trap zones, destroy them. If you do, for each card destroyed, this card gains an additional attack during each battle phase.
Sounds like we have a boss monster right here.
Yep, this is just like I said. This is Reiji's boss monster in the manga.
It's pretty damn strong. For a level 7 effect.
I mean, it's not really that good in the modern game, of course, but I used to run a build focused on getting this guy out.
And how was that working out for you?
I used to run it. It was alright in the early ages of DDD. I like to run this guy at 1 personally, or I like 1 or 2, but Nothing really in the modern era.
Does this have side deck potential, perhaps? Maybe if you're facing like
Not
I don't know, a deck that has like Necro Valley or something annoying with face up cards.
not really, because you wouldn't really see those. I mean, like it has some utility to it, but not really.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Format. All right. Next, we have DDD Rebelle King Leonidas, based off of Leonidas from the Battle of that famous battle that was based off of the movie 300, based off of.
He does look pretty damn cool. Just a badass gladiator.
Or Spartan.
Yeah. It's surprising that some of these are fiend monsters. To be honest with you.
Like, I mean, you could tell that this guy kind of looks like he would be a warrior, but I can see the fiendish. I can see the fiendish aspect.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, Rebelle King Leonidas is a dark fiend, level 7, agile monster with a scale of 3, attack of 2600, defense of 1200. Special effect reads that when you take effect damage, you destroy this card, and if you do, any effect that would inflict damage to a player, this turn increases their life points by the same amount instead.
Okay.
And if it's in the hand, when you take effect damage, you can special summon it from the hand. If you do, gain life points equal to the damage you took. And then while he's up on the field, you take no effect damage.
Now, there is a card in the extra deck which I see all the time when I play against DDDs, and that has to do with...
It replaces this guy's function?
Yes, and does this guy... so yeah, that's what I was going to say. Does this guy work well with that card, or is this guy made kind of redundant?
Anyway, so yeah, DDD Rebelle King Leonidas gets basically replaced by one of the extra deck monsters that we'll see later on. But I used to use this guy a lot before that extra deck monster came into play, and also the fact that this monster can serve as a dame at least.
Yeah, but nowadays are we saying 0 copies?
0 copies. Even though it has such a really awesome artwork.
Speaking of awesome artwork, easily my favorite in the Archetype here. I don't even care if it's effect is useless, you have to run this card. Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok.
Funny enough, this guy is your chief playmaker.
Damn right he is.
DDD Oblivion King Abyss Ragnarok, level 8, Dark Fiend Pendulum Monster, scale 5, with a stat line of 2200 attack and 3000 defense.
Ooh, like I said it before.
This guy is tanky.
Damn right. I mean, he's sitting on a throne, so he better take some hits.
He's like Asgul from Soul Calibur. He's like, you dare to oppose me? Anyway, Oblivion King Ragnarok's effect. The main reason he's used is his pendulum effect. When you special summon a DD monster or monsters, except during the damage step, if you target a DD monster in your graveyard, any battle damage your opponent will take will be half for the rest of the turn. But in exchange, you get to special summon that monster, and you'll take 1000 damage.
You know, I kind of like the idea of the boss monster being the pendulum monster, as opposed to being something you attack with.
It gets even better. In the monster zone, its monster effect wise, if he's a normal or special summon, you can target a DDD monster from your graveyard, special summon it, and then once returned, you contribute another DD monster you control, target a monster your opponent controls, banish it.
That's really, really strong.
This guy is an instant 3 of.
Absolutely. That's pretty damn cool.
Next, we have DDD Dragon King Pendragon, based off of King Arthur.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not. Because, yeah, Arthur's last name is actually Arthur Pendragon. Yep, this guy was released as part of one of the starter decks that was released in the past alongside his counterpart being Odd-Eye Saber Dragon.
Oh, I see.
DD Dragon King Pendragon's effect is alright, but I know that Dan himself has made a build focused more on the graveyard that uses Pendragon.
So what does Pendragon do?
If he's in the hand, you contribute a dragon monster and another fiend monster from your hand, or on your side of the field to special summon this guy. And once returned, you can discard a card. It gains 500 attack, and then you can destroy a spell trap on the field. And the attack freeze will last until the end of the turn.
Sounds kind of costly, if you ask me.
I mean, costly in terms of the hand switch summon, but if you can pendulum summon this guy out, it's a snap.
Yeah, I could definitely.
Its main attraction though is the fact that it's basically a discard 1, gain 500 to boost himself up to 31, and then you basically get an MST.
Which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't really see this guy in the modern build actually, but yeah, this guy is still a fun monster if you want to experiment.
Yeah, I can imagine in current day and age when we are running tons of back row removal, including Twin Twister, you wouldn't necessarily rely on this for its spell track removal effect, but at the same time, it can have some applications, I feel.
And the final main deck DD monster we got is actually one of the monsters for the structure deck that we got, DD Wisdom King Chaos Apocalypse.
Cool. He looks like a mean motherfucker.
I'll be blunt here though. King Apocalypse is pretty bad.
Damn.
It kind of does suck. Level 7 Dark Fiend Pendulum Effect monster scale 4 with the stat line of 2720. Special effect is that you banish 2 DD monsters from your graveyard to special this guy straight from the Pendulum Zone.
Yeah.
And then during your opponent's turn, if a card is in your hand or graveyard, or if he's in your hand or graveyard, target 2 face-up spell trap cards you control. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for fiend monsters. Destroy the targeted card and special summon this guy.
It seems
Funny enough though, Wisdom King Thomas and Nicola were used in the anime by Reiji to form an infinite loop.
Oh, okay.
I forgot how the loop went, but it basically forced this guy who was cheating to constantly having clones with 2,000 life points lose 2,000. So basically, it would form an infinite loop where Reiji always won. And that the guy would have to either focus on spamming more clones that Reiji would have to destroy, or he'd have to stop it and flee. Because that's Reiji in a nutshell. He's really calculated.
As for his card effect, he feels like he's a little bit counterintuitive to what the decks want to achieve.
Yeah, because you're alright with banishing monsters from your graveyard. However, it doesn't really do much. Unlike the slimes, for example, which allow you to fusion summon.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It doesn't really.
So
I'd say run 0.